Okay, so um, it's a brand new video I'm making, and just to give you a little bit of background, uh, this video is going to be about morality and where I think it comes from. So that's the basis of the video. And to give you a little background of myself, um, I am a I don't know if I would consider myself an atheist or just a non-believer, but as far as morality goes, I don't think it comes from religion. So that's kind of what this video is going to be about, and what I want to discuss and debate. So feel free to comment, and I'll answer back. So all right, I'll go ahead and start. I kind of wrote it down, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm reading. So anyhow, morality. Where does it come from, many ask. There are several who use the origin of morality to argue for the existence of a divine being, which in my opinion is not a very good argument. Many religious types fall back on this argument as a way to frighten people into belief. They say things such as, without morality, without religion, we wouldn't have had morality, such as like the Ten Commandments and many other things in the Bible, which supposedly teach morality. Uh, Without these things, we would live in a terrible world of unruly people who would just go around killing and raping each other. And I kind of have a hard time believing these things, but I've heard interesting debates by people such as Hitchens and Dawkins on the subject, and many of their debates kind of steer in the direction of asking yourself this question: what did humans do prior to the discovery of religion and morality? Did they rape, kill, and commit all sorts of other crimes? If so, how did humanity survive this? Surely we would have wiped ourselves off the face of the planet well before religion, such as the Ten Commandments and the Bible and things like that, were discovered. Many scientists put human existence at about 100 to 200,000 years, and that's just humans. That doesn't um, account for the existence of our relatives. So, how did we survive this long during such things as famine, starvation, and natural disaster if we had no moral code to abide by? When in today's world, a simple earthquake, tsunami, or powerful hurricane can kill tens of thousands of people, even with our technology and knowledge of such disasters, and foresight of such disasters, too. Just imagine living 50 or 100,000 years ago. Do you honestly believe we survived these things without developing some type of moral code that provided some type of group protection? Even if you were to say that the Earth was 100,000 years old, or not the Earth, but humans were 100,000 years old, you would have to conclude that 98% of our existence has been without morality. Then you would have to explain how we survived so long without it. Basically, what I'm getting at there is many claim that the Bible was written, 2,000 years ago. If in fact humans are 100,000 years old, then that's 98,000 years that we killed and raped each other apparently before we discovered Christianity and the Ten Commandments. So what do you religious people have to say about that argument? I mean, do you actually believe we survived that long, or are you one of those types who believe that the Earth is only 10,000 years old? I mean, when all the evidence points towards our existence being 100,000 years or longer, then how do you explain prior to Christianity or any other religion you can think of? How can you explain humans surviving that long without it? And I go on to say that this, of course, is a very flawed argument. I have not even scratched the surface, and already we can clearly see the absurdity in these claims. No, morality did not come from religion. Morality is in fact innate in us, and has to be innate in us. And it has evolved just as we have physically evolved. Think about it. Think about the first humans that existed. If there were no morality as a survival instinct, what kept them from killing each other into extinction? Morality formed simply from survival. We needed it. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't be here. If humans were just running around killing each other and not helping each other out, which is the basically morality defined. I mean, we had to help each other out. We had to have rules that were set so that we would survive not only ourselves but outside things such as other animals and disasters and things of that nature. We had to help each other. Humans were forced into small groups for security purposes. We needed protection from other animals. So right there, you can see how morality may have formed. At some point, these small groups figured out that the more of them there were in that group, the better protected that group was from the outside. So it only makes sense that not killing each other was beneficial, which is right there a definition of some type of morality. I mean, if you have a rule that says, hey, let's not kill each other, because if we kill each other, there's going to be less of us to go out and get food, to defend each other against other humans or other species that are trying to kill us. There needs to be more of us, and the more of us there are, the better chance of our survival. So it only makes sense not killing each other was beneficial. Realizing this, you can come up with several other moral rules that must have had to have been established, such as distributing food evenly instead of fighting over it. If humans had not shared with other humans in that group, then you'd have one fat guy and everybody else would be starving to death. Or you'd have that top echelon of people who are getting the proper nutrients in order to continue on, and you'd have a large group of other people just simply starving to death, and that simply wouldn't we wouldn't have lasted long if that was the case. Eventually, some human must have come up with the idea that, hey, if my group is fed well, even if I'm the alpha male in the group, if I could eat everything, I could take everything for myself, but if my group is fed well, then my group has a better survival chance against another group, or we have numerically better chances of fending off outside attacks from other animals or other groups. This group mentality eventually evolved many other moral codes, such as protection of women and children, because again, you have to protect women. You have to protect children. If you don't, then the species will not grow. The group will not grow. So, taking all these things into consideration, I believe that morality has to be innate in us. It's a survival tool, and it's a survival tool that evolution has affected and guided as society has changed, as we become more secure. Due to our previous moral codes of not killing and not raping and things of that nature, you get into morality evolving, socially. now we have these social rules of things you shouldn't do in certain social situations. So, I mean, you can pretty much go on and on here as far as where morality comes from and how it's evolved. It's pretty easy to see that that's exactly what has happened. So, in conclusion, I don't think religion has created morality. It may have sped it up. Certain religions may have had a head start, or maybe they were way ahead um, the curve, and they may have contributed to the the evolution of morality. But I don't think they're the source of it, because before many of these religions even existed, um, humans had morality, had some kind of moral code or rules that had to be followed. Otherwise, like I keep saying, we wouldn't be here. So my my conclusion is that religion borrows morality from humans, and Christianity borrows morality from even previous religions that may have existed before Christianity. So that's basically it. And please feel free to comment, and maybe we can see if there's people out there that have different views.